Test one, testing. Test two, testing.
Science Science has never weakened my faith, it's only strengthened it.
Jewish scientist Dr. James Tour.
And so what happens is science drives me to appreciate my God all the more for what he's done.
Professor of chemistry, nanoengineering, and material science at Rice University.
My faith makes me love God so much more for the greatness in creation. I know the scientific realm of all that he's created, and it's just scratching the surface. I'm like, Lord, you are utterly amazing. So that's the way it impacts me.
Voted one of the top 50 most influential minds in the world, and a Messianic Jew who believes Jesus is the Jewish Messiah. Welcome to Faith of a Scientist with Dr. James Tour.
It would be unfair of God to expect an educated person to believe in the physical resurrection unless he made it entirely possible. And I'm always amazed because I see educated people go from not believing in the resurrection to believing in the resurrection over a 10-minute conversation. And the only way that I can explain that is this: God has placed the truth of the resurrection on your heart already. It would be unfair of him to believe something so incredible as a physical resurrection, something that we've never seen nor anybody we've ever known has seen, unless he's already placed that truth on your heart. He didn't make this easy. He didn't say, just believe that Jesus loved the little children. No, you got to believe that he rose physically from the dead. God commands us. 1 John 3:23 says, and this is his commandment, that we believe on the name of his Son, Jesus Christ. This is his commandment to you.
This has been Faith of a Scientist with Dr. James Tour. Watch his powerful testimony on YouTube, Facebook, or drjamestour.com.
You're listening to 95.9 FM, KMPN Burnet, keeping him close by to Burnet, Marble Falls, and all the surrounding area. Now, from the ministries of the KHCB Network and Camp Peniel of Marble Falls, welcome to a special presentation. This 95.9 FM features the varsity football game of the week with the Burnet Bulldogs. Join in as play-by-play announcer Mark Edmondson brings all the action and highlights of another weekend of Burnet Bulldog High School football. He is joined by Roy Kaiser in order to give all the details of tonight's contest. For those of you who want to hear the regular programming of the KHCB network, go to khcb.org and listen via the internet, or download the free KHCB app to your smartphone or tablet. Now it's time to bring you all the action of tonight's contest on 95.9 FM. So here's Mark Edmondson and Roy Kaiser.
Mark Edmondson and Roy Kaiser, it is live with Burnet Bulldog football from Brownwood, Texas. Gordon Wood Stadium, a lot of history here. Of course, Coach Kaiser, it's homecoming for the Brownwood Lions, but for the Burnet Bulldogs, it's game number 9 on the season, and it's going to be a big one. Had a big one last week, came up just short in a fantastic, thrilling ball game against Lampasas. Maybe to make it fantastic, the Bulldogs could have got the win there, had a chance late, but came up short. We'll talk a little bit about that, but it was a tremendous high school football game, and you look for more of that tonight. The Bulldogs at 5-3, 1-1 in district, and that's another reason this game's so important. They have this game. Next week's a bye week, and they finish the season at home in 2 weeks, the regular season against Stephenville. And the Bulldogs look to already be in the playoffs, but a win tonight would solidify that and take any kind of doubt off the table. But it is, of course, a important game, again, to get some of that confidence back. They played really well last week, had the ball late in the game, came up short on a 4th down play near midfield, and lost to Lampasas 42-38. The Brownwood Lions, they are 3-3 and 0-1 in district. They lost 2 weeks ago. They had a bye week last week. Their last loss also was the Badgers, but 2 weeks ago in a 30-20 loss to Lampasas. Coach Kaiser, you know, we had a lot of fun last week with an exciting ball game. Disappointment in the loss at the end, but, you know, I always do. I just have to put in there that it's hard for me to stay disappointed very long when the Bulldogs played so hard. You want that victory, but it's hard to look past the fact that they went out there and really put it on the field and played a great game. Just came up a little short on the scoreboard, but a win tonight could get some of those bad feelings out of the way in a hurry when you have to travel to Brownwood, Gordon Wood Stadium. I mean, legendary, one of the maybe the top coach in high school, Texas high school history, and in some minds, definitely there. You're playing at the stadium, and here on their homecoming night, a chance to get a big win, and again, move some of that confidence back heading in to the last game and the playoffs.
That's a great way to put it, really, because you're coming here to an iconic field and trying to get that bad taste out of your mouth. But I thought periodically throughout the week, the game was over and you move on and you get busy and you're doing your daily routines. But I thought about that game a few times this week and just how exciting it was for both fan bases, and the teams just went back and forth and no one would yield. And finally it just came down to really a mistake, and we kind of said that as the game went on, that game may be decided by whoever makes a mistake, and unfortunately the Bulldogs did and came up just short. But as we know, kids move on, and they I'm sure were crushed for a night, and then they came back and got to work the next day, because you've got a really good football team on the road that you've got to prepare for, and with a golden opportunity right in front of you, Mark. And I think our kids are confident, and I'm looking for both sides of the football tonight to play well together. We saw the offense just really shine last week, and the defense didn't really get very many stops. And so if they can put that together against a good team, I think we have something good tonight.
Yeah, and on the other side, Brownwood, they're at a 3-3 season, looking up at 0-1, and they were a preseason top 10. They had some really high expectations, and you got to know they still believe that, but they've struggled this year, kind of putting it together, back and forth. Had some good games, and their big running back, he's going to miss I think the first half of this game.
Yep.
That goes back to the game 2 weeks ago, but even that. This is a team, you put it together, homecoming night. They understand they don't want to be 0-2 in this district. They haven't played Stephenville yet. They've got 2 more games to go, as they've already had their bye. So they're going to come out, snorting fire, and that. And that's why, again, I think it'll make for a great game, because I believe, as you said, the Bulldogs, this is we are not going to let what happened last week, and you're going to hear Coach Spear and I talk a little bit about it, not let you beat you twice, and I do. I think, and that should make, again, for a great ball game. I do believe the Bulldogs come out ahead in the end, but to play on this field, you've got to execute, and you're going to have to limit those mistakes, and it should just be another really exciting high school football game here tonight.
Well, at 0-1 in district, Brownwood understands the importance of this game in front of a homecoming crowd. And, they don't want to lose that game. And to think that Brownwood would be 0-2 in this district after the first 3 weeks of district is, like you said, it's kind of beyond their imagination at this point. But we have an opportunity to do that to them. And how sweet that would be if we were able to pull that off.
All right, we're just getting started. We appreciate you joining us again tonight. You can hear us anywhere on the World Wide Web on BTXSportsOnline.com. Thanks to Chad Nelson. There's the directions there and a link to our YouTube channel where it's an audio feed only, but you can go there. And, of course, and thanks to Bruce tonight, he likes to say he's the B team, but he's 1A with Dan. Does just a great job of helping us as well. We appreciate everything KMPN does for us, and you can hear it locally in the Burnett area on 95.9 FM. So we do appreciate it all. We're going to go take this first commercial break, come back, have the Coach Ben Spear Show, and we're just getting started. We'll get you the starting lineups, get you ready for tonight's action. And, again, just it seems to get better and better. What a district and what a game as the Bulldogs travel and face the Brownwood Lions on BTXSportsOnline.com and KMPN 95.9 FM.
This is Dr. Stephen Rummage with today's Moving Forward Minute. In John 14:6, Jesus said, "No one comes to the Father except through me." If you have a water leak that you can't fix, you need a plumber. You say, well, I know the best doctor in the world. He successfully treated thousands of people. I'll call him. That won't help your leaky pipes unless the doctor is also a plumber. Well, we've all sinned against God. Our sin will cause us to spend eternity away from God in a terrible place called hell. That's a real problem, and we can't fix it. But in love, God solved our problem by sending His own Son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross to be punished in our place. Don't insist that there's another way to be saved. There isn't. Trust in Jesus Christ today and be saved. For more resources, visit movingforwardradio.org.
It's game number 9, and it's the Coach Ben Spears Show, head coach of the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are 5-3 after a tough loss and a thrilling battle with Lampasas 42-38. Please share your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, it was an exciting game. I think you get texts and phone calls and people running to your church, and they want to say basically the same thing over and over. It's just a great game, Coach Good. And I'm just like, yeah, I wish we'd won. But
I feel like you're going to say that.
I'm proud of the boys. And then I had an older gentleman in church reach out to me, and he grabbed me by the arm. He said, Coach, I'm just so glad our boys played hard and they didn't put up with any of that attitude from that other team. And you're like, yeah, that's it. I knew our boys would play hard. I knew they'd give great effort because that's who they've been and what they've been training to do. And then sometimes you get some of those extracurricular stuff and you prepare them for it and coach them up on how to handle those situations. And you saw it play out Friday, and they did really well. And I'm proud of them. I'm proud of their efforts, yes, but I'm proud of the way they handled some of those things that could have got ugly and out of hand, and they did well. And these are great life lessons for us, And sometimes we always know life's not fair. Deserving we may be or not. You don't always get what you want, but how are you going to handle success? How are you going to handle defeat? How are you going to handle adversity? It's all important lessons, we're trying to teach these young men through the game of football.
And that goes to the next question. Confidence is certainly a hard concept to pin down, but the old saying, don't let one loss beat you twice, comes to mind. Losing a close game to Lampasas stings, but it has to be put behind the team. How do you accomplish that?
Yeah, yes, sir. And, that's very important. You can't let Lampasas beat us twice, and it's, as much as you try to prepare the kids, it's kind of up to the kids on how they feel and how they feel and project themselves going or being successful the rest of the season. And they're just, they were frustrated and wanted to win that one bad. But Saturday they showed up and we got treatment, lift, and film, and they were ready to roll on. And it was surprising, I think, to say the least. Just you kind of think it'd be more of a hangover, but they're just ready to go play Brownwood. And as coaches, we probably dwell on it more than anybody. Absolutely we do. But they're just ready to get back on the football field and play. So yeah, it's important that doesn't carry over. You're worried about sometimes that, man, they gave the absolute best effort, Mark. I don't think there's anything else they could have given effort-wise. And you worry about, hey, we got to get back up next Friday or this Friday, tonight, and do the same thing. Got to be able to do the same thing because Brownwood's a good team, and we've got to give them our best in order to win.
The Bulldogs do travel to Brownwood this week. What can you tell us about the Lions?
Lions are finding themselves. They're, they're really great up front, offensive line. Defense is always sound. They got some new faces on the offensive line, but they're getting better every week, and they're big. And they're good with their concepts of what they do with the inside zone. They got a new running back, a move in from Duncanville. He was on the state championship team last year at that 6A level. So sometimes you feel like the rich get richer, it seems over there, but he'll be out probably the first half, and the other guy they have his backup is in, he's running, and they might be better with him in there. They're more versatile at least with what they can do. So it'll be a good game. Coach Sonny will have those guys ready and fired up, and of course going to Gordon Wood Stadium, that's like a playoff atmosphere anyway, and it's a really cool thing for visiting teams to go there and be a part of, and all the history, and you see all the district championships on the fence, and you see all the banners and the state champions that they've had, and so that's a really cool thing for our guys to experience. But best thing is, well, we were just there last year, so for most of us, it's nothing new. And if we weren't there the year before, JV kids were there playing it, so it's not a new atmosphere for us, and it'll be, but it'll definitely hold more meaning than what it's had in the past 2 years when we played a pre-district schedule with them. So it's got some big meetings coming in here late October.
The bye week comes late this year, next week before the final regular season game. Has that had an impact on the planning and preparation of the team to get to this point in the season?
100%. I mean, you get a bye week this late, it's tough. It's tough on everybody. I mean, from me, head coach, to my assistants, to the players, to coaches' wives, to my kids, and teacher. It affects us all because everyone's looking for a little bit of a break. And not that we don't like football and we want to get away from it, but it's just, you need something to put a little juice back in the battery and get ready to go for this playoff push. And so, yes, we've cut back a little bit of here and there, cut back on some of our weights that we do, just a little bit within the past week, to just try to give our kids a new excitement, or just a little bit of a shot in the arm to get us through Friday. And they know what's coming Friday, that, after Friday they're going to get, several days off. The bye-week practice will definitely cut down, will look different. And, we talk about the kids and team and this and that, but it's just as important for us coaches as it is for them, because we've got to recharge, and we got to go, spend a little bit more time with family and kids and wives, and that does everybody good, because coming in this playoff push, we hope we can be playing for several weeks. And so as long as you like to have it early in the year, just to help out with injuries and catching your breath, it's where it's at, and we'll be okay, because we'll get Stephenville the last week, and then we're heading to the playoffs.
Well, thank you, and as always, good luck. Mark Edmondson, Roy Kaiser back with you live here from Brownwood, Texas, Gordon Wood Stadium. The Bulldogs and the Brownwood Lions, neither team on the field. Again, it's homecoming. They've already, I believe, had all their homecoming festivities, or they do it before the game. I believe that's what happened over there. I would have we did our king and queen, and I would do it, but I didn't hear it, so I'm not able to. But it is homecoming for Brownwood. How did we get here? The Bulldogs come in at 5-3 and 1-1 in district, and it's easy to say every week, but it really is hard to believe we're talking about game number 9. And the weather hasn't changed much since game number 1. It's coming next week. That's why it was very hot in the booth until the sun started going down, and it feels much better now here. So the Bulldogs started back on August the 29th against Lago Vista. That was that 23-20 loss. Lago Vista scoring with about 21 seconds left in the ball game. Week 2, September 6th at Eastview. The Bulldogs really outmatched there by that big club from Georgetown. Lost that one 51-0, and then went on quite the streak. As it was a September 13th win at Little River Academy. The Bumblebees, Bulldogs won that one 49-35. Then at Fredericksburg, a couple of really tough kind of defensive-minded games. First at Fredericksburg on September 20th, the Bulldogs won that one 22-15. And then 9/27 on September 27th, 23-17 win at home against Gatesville. in another tough contest against a good ball club. Then on October 4th, it was homecoming for the Bulldogs. San Angelo Lakeview came to town on a dominating win for the Bulldogs, 57-14. Then they opened district at Marble Falls, 43-7. The Burnett County battle for Burnett County, Bulldogs won that one easily. And then last week, the Lampasas Burnett rivalry, even up another notch, another game that'll be talked about. This time, the Bulldogs lost 42-38. Back and forth it went. It was only about 3 possessions during the game that a team didn't score. It was quite the offensive show the Bulldogs did have. The ball, it really looked like it might come down perfect as they had a couple of minutes left. They were past midfield. They score. You hopefully with very little time left because Lampasas had scored at will as well, and but the Bulldogs come up short. And that's how they get to this game, very important ball game in Brownwood at 5-3 and 1-1 in District 448.
Like you said, Mark, we're talking about Week 9, and yet Brownwood is 3-3. Having had a game canceled with Abilene Wiley and then the bye week in district. So Brownwood starts the season on September 6th at Wall and defeated Wall 17-7. Then the next Friday they played Glen Rose and lost that game 44-16. Then they were at home for the first time this season at playing Waco La Vega, and they lose that game 43-0. The next week they get a win against China Spring, 37-21. And then Ingleside was the next opponent, and they beat Ingleside 55-7. The first district game was at Lampasas, and they lost that 30-20.
Yeah, it again is artificial turf here. They have a big screen on one end. Now more and more you're seeing that at stadiums too, but the big screen where they will show some replays throughout the night. Maybe that'll help us as we go through the night. For you, it's hard for me to see both, but you have quick eyes. So it is as now they're starting to again get closer. We got about 10 minutes or so to the opening scheduled kickoff. Before we get into the starting lineups, they have some things going on. The Esprit de Corps, they have made they'll be going to regional. They advanced from with the.
I think they advanced to the area round.
Area round. I'm sorry, area round. Thank you. Go read that. You got it written down, and that's much better in my memory.
Just checking
yes.
Joe Cox's email before the
Yes.
game, and
Yes.
the EDC finished with a first division rating, advanced to the area round in Pflugerville on November 2nd.
Okay. And then the swim tomorrow.
We have a swim meet tomorrow with Coach Gerfers leading the way. They refer to that as the Hoot and Holler, and that's at 10:15 at the Burnett YMCA. And then the next event that we have is a state finals, and that's for the cross-country boys. And those young men really ran beyond their means last week, and all of them had a great personal best. Anyways, they're gonna run at the state meet on Friday, November 1st at 10 a.m.
Second. They were second.
They were second
and moved ahead of his
in the
team. Now there
region.
were 2 girls, I believe, that advanced individually.
They did, Mark, and then that evening, Coach Jones received an email from the directors of the meet saying they had made a mistake, and so those 2 young ladies do not get to run.
Oh, I'm sorry,
at the
but I
state
did
meet.
not. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. But I know they competed.
They did.
hard. Yes,
They
no.
did. They were really the next 2 that would have
Would've
gone.
gone.
Yep.
Well, congratulations to them all. That is awesome. And then that's next weekend at Old Settlers Park. That's really. I've been there. I've gone to 1 or 2 events there. I know you've been to lots of them, but just kind of just a neat thing there by Dell Diamond near
Yeah.
in Old Settlers Park. In an old part of Round Rock, and just kind of a neat setting for the state meet.
It is. My advice is if you do go to that, again, 10 o'clock at Old Settlers, is that you leave early and that you have some good walking shoes, because parking is quite a ways from the course, and so you're going to have to trek over there. So leave in plenty of time so that you make it in time for the race to start.
All right, let's go ahead. We'll get the Bulldogs offensive starters here. At quarterback, having a tremendous year again, Rhett Murray, 112 completions to 200 attempts. The percentage down a little from last year, but 1,443 yards, 15 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Had a big week last week. I think it was over 300 yards passing last week. They're going to be there'll be others running. Last week, Lopez had a big game. They do try to spell him, but Coronado, the starting running back, and when he's run the ball, he has had a tremendous year as well. 115 carries, 737 yards. That's over 6.4 yards per carry. And you take that all day long. 3 touchdowns for Coronado. The wide receivers, and this is where it gets a little bit hard for other teams. The Bulldogs have really got a lot of talent out. And we talked about at the start of the year who was going to fill those spots.
Right.
And it's hard to just say one because there are a couple that stand out, but all of them have contributed at different times. David Prather in the starting lineup tonight, but Matthew Williams has had big catches. Pimentel's had a couple games where he really dominated in that wide receiver spot. And Colt Stanford, he has 26 catches, almost 300 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and he had a huge game last week. And they have gotten catches from other players throughout. Howell has a couple of touchdowns, and so it has been one night I think we had 11 different receivers catch a ball. So that has been a huge benefit for the Bulldogs because other teams, they can't just key in on one person.
You're right, and I think the coaches have done a fantastic job of recognizing that and making it more difficult to defend. And credit to Murray for being able to distribute the football to all of those people. Defensively, the Bulldogs will come out in their familiar 3-4 set with Noah Billick, number 44, and Riley Howell, number 7, anchoring the ends, and Demetrius Taliaferro, number 26, at the nose tackle. Outside linebackers, number 11, Marcus Pimentel, and number 10, Trevin Park, who has 43 tackles on the season. That's 6.1 a game. And then your leading tacklers, the wheel linebacker, Chris Kastner, number 20, leading the team with 64 tackles. That's 8 a game. And Alejandro Ochoa, number 34, he has 60 tackles at 7.5 a game. Cornerbacks, Jordan Jones, number 3, Aiden Sanchez, number 6, and your safeties, Colt Stanford, number 18, and Lou Laidler, number 35.
Bulldogs coming onto the field with their green pants and white jerseys. Numbers easy to see like that, and the green trim, white helmets with the Bulldog coming out of the state of Texas, the logo on the side. Brownwood about to take the field, and they were showing. I was looking up there. They have the lights doing it too. All right, so I want to have to see about this. Who's doing this?
I was about to comment on how brightly lit the field is, and how clear it is here tonight, and the big jumbotron at the end. It makes for really good viewing and for viewing up here, and then the lights go all the way out.
Yeah, they are now. They're a little different than the other ones. They don't be flashing quite the same. Brownwood about to come on field anyway, and I was showing it. Look, we've talked about the history of Burnett football, and the town has a rich history, over 100 games against Marble Falls. But Brownwood is one of those schools that are up there in the number of wins. Gordon Wood, of course, and they had a little video presentation before as they're about to come on through their sign, which they come through an old sign, the old-fashioned sign.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. That's kind of neat. An old held-up sign on poles. I remember those days because I'm old. But they had 7 state championships flash up there, Gordon Wood and stuff. So it does just add to the history. The Bulldogs, it's been a while since they've been able to defeat the Lions. And as you said, this is a golden opportunity for it, but it's certainly not going to be easy. You add the fact that the Lions are playing for a lot. They're a good team that have struggled at times, but trying to find themselves, as Coach Spears said. But, the intensity of this game should be off the charts.
And what an interesting matchup. Both teams coming off losses to the same opponent, and both close games. So this should be a barn burner, and good for both fan bases.
I'm gonna
tonight.
try. You can work on getting their captains. I'm gonna try to get their starters real quick on offense. Judson Colson, the starting quarterback. Trey Mosley is their running back. He'll be out for the first half, so I'm not sure who's in the starting role tonight. We'll get that. Wide receivers: Carson No, Braden Stacks, Aaron Edmonds, and Grant Gray. The Lion: Ian Barrera, Adam Chesser, Isaiah Rojas, Logan Flores, and Weston Wolf. Did I do our offense walk? I did, didn't I?
Yes, we talked about offensive stats.
Did I ever give our offensive line? I don't think I did.
No, we didn't.
All right, I'll do that. But let's go ahead and get our captains first for us. It is Marcus Pimentel, also Jonathan Ryder, Chris Kasner, and Colt Stanford, captains for the Bulldogs.
For the Lions, number 8, Stone Ratliff, number 10, Aaron Edmonds, 22, Julius Laura, and 77, Weston Wolf.
And the offensive line for the Bulldogs, sorry about that, just got talking about stats. Shane Ikonen, Brandon Westbrook, Jonathan Ryder, one of the captains here or there. Tonight, Nate Torres, Donnie Sharon, and Demetrius Talaferro is also in the Y. All right, captains meeting at midfield. You want to get theirs work in, or do you want to wait?
I can do it. Brown was listed with a 3-3 defense. Defensive ends Levi Pearson and Weston Wolf, and nose tackle Robert Trowbridge. Linebackers Jack Field, Brinson Martin, Enrique Vasquez, and the cornerbacks Raven Prado, Kenvin McDowell, and 3 safeties Devin Eanes, Wyatt Wolf, and Noah Gonzalez.
Bulldogs, I do believe, won the toss and said they wanted the offense out on the field, and that's been a good strategy. The Bulldogs offense playing very well. We saw what they did last week. So the Bulldogs will get the opening kickoff. We're going to go ahead and take this last break. National anthem coming up. When we come back, we'll have tonight's kickoff, the Burnet Bulldogs and the Brownwood Lions on KMPAN 95.9 FM at BTXSportsOnline.com.
Here's today's daily devotional from Dr. Ed Young.
Psalm 23:1, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." One of the best known and best loved Bible passages has to be 23rd Psalm. This passage paints a comforting picture of the love and care of God for His people, His sheep. I love the Living Bible's paraphrase of this verse. It says, "Because the Lord is my shepherd, I have everything that I need." I wrote a book on the 23rd Psalm a long time ago, and I titled it, "Everything That I Need." Listen, a shepherd has to provide everything for his sheep, including their food, water, protection, welfare. In other words, a shepherd is everything to his sheep, and his sheep are totally, completely dependent on him. As your shepherd, listen, the Lord will take care of you physically, emotionally, and spiritually. He wants to be your shepherd. So if you want to experience comfort and care as one of God's sheep, remind yourself of this truth throughout this day. Because the Lord is my shepherd, listen, I have everything that I need.
For additional resources, go to winningwalk.org. That's winningwalk.org.
Mark Edmondson, Roy Kaiser, back with you live from Gordon Wood Stadium in Brownwood, Texas. Homecoming for the Lions, for the Bulldogs. They are looking to go to 2-1. Huge district ball game here. Bulldogs will get the opening kickoff. Stanford will go back deep along with Laidler.
Mark, I like the fact we're going on offense here. We execute this kickoff, but with Mosley being out the first half, I think it's key for the Bulldogs to get a couple of touchdown lead, because if Brown was playing from behind, maybe they don't run the football as much and go to their strength.
No doubt about it. You want to try to take them out of what they want to do. The Bulldogs have had some really good starts here. We've seen some crazy finishes here. I was at Was last year, 2 years ago? No, last year it was, I think they were up 10-3 at halftime.
Yeah.
Then it was like 3 touchdowns by Brownwood. The Bulldogs offense couldn't score in the second half. I believe it was 24-10. And we're about to get underway. The kickoff, line drive kick. Going to be return. Wait, a whistle.
They blew that dead
Before the kick.
and the clock did start.
Yeah, see what they did. They're bringing it back.
I don't see a flag.
No, I wonder if they didn't give him a whistle to kick.
Probably so.
That was Robinson, I think, back there. No, it's Johnson back there. Brian Johnson. Yeah, he was bad.
It
That's
is.
88, yes. Laidler and Stanford.
And he's had some big plays offensively.
Yes,
for the
he has.
Bulldogs this year.
They've been working him and more.
Sophomore.
Big young man. And he's shown his athleticism. But they're going to reset the clock to 12, so maybe they hadn't given the whistle to go yet.
And the mulligan.
Yeah, well, we start over. Glad I didn't go the whole KMPN BTX Sports Online. I'd have wasted that. Line it up again. They're ready this time. And another line drive kick. This time it will be brought back from the goal line. Trying to get to the outside and turns it back in. I actually thought it is Johnson again. I thought he might have had the edge, but then he turned it back up inside, but he does get up to about the 22-yard line. I appreciate you listening to Burning Bulldog Football on KMPN 95.9 FM, BTXSportsOnline.com. Do you think he could have got that edge on the angle?
I thought he had it. I'm in agreement with you, Mark. It looked like he could have, but maybe the defender had a better angle.
Better angle. He had the better look down there than we did up here. Bulldogs start 1st and 10. First drive of the night at their own 22-yard line. Murray has trip receivers to the left. Man goes in motion. That's Stanford, but they're going to hand it off to Coronado, and Coronado finds some room. He's going to get to the 25-yard line, a gain of 3. Now, I do think this defense we really did what we wanted to land past this, that this is going to be a better test as far as on the defensive side. I believe they've got some strength inside.
I believe so, and it comes down to the offensive line being able to get them blocked.
2nd and 7. Trip receivers to the left. Man goes in motion. That's Kasner. Now they hand it off to Coronado again. Makes one man miss and then shoots forward to the 27. Going to bring up a quick 3rd down. 3rd down and about 5 from the 27-yard line. So a big first down here early. Just now a minute off the clock here in the first quarter. No score from Brownwood. So we run it on the first two.
Coming out, running the football, trying to establish the running game and get that offensive line working.
See if we try to go something safe here, get a little spot and get that 5 yards. 3rd down and 5 from the 27. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right short side of the field. He will throw. He does have time. And don't know, I thought he threw it to the underneath Williams or they had the player behind him, but either way, it's incomplete. So the Brownwood Lions get what they want. Bulldogs take the offense out on the field first, but it's a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, it started out promising with a 3-yard gain, but then just couldn't connect right there on that slant route to Williams.
There were 2. Yeah, I thought he was going to Williams, but I don't know if it got to him. Laidler to punt. High snap. He does get it away, and he's been kicking well. Good high kick, and it's fair caught, but decent field position for the Lions. So the Lions defense does what it wants to. It will start at their own 44-yard line. So good field position. First possession for Brownwood. That might help me see who the running back is back there. Let's see who's going to be in that starting position for the quarterback.
They only have 2 guys listed as running backs.
Looks like 18. Do you have that?
18 is going to be Noah Gonzalez. Do
you have that other roster? It's 1st and 10. Man goes in motion. Empty backfield. Going to be a keep by the quarterback, and this is hurt the Bulldogs. And Brownwood has seen that, and they go right to it. Gonzalez was in the backfield, but he left it. And then the quarterback Colson picks up a first down. He gets past midfield to the 45-yard line on Burnett's side of the field. So it's like an 11-yard gain. 1st and 10. Going to have to control the quarterback. We have struggled with that. This time they hand it off on the zone read, and they give it to Gonzalez, and he finds a hole on the left side, and he makes sure he points forward that he has a first down. He does pick up yardage. Now, this Bulldog defense did not make stops last week, and Brownwood knows that. They get down to the 33-yard line. That was a 12-yard gain, 2 carries, 2 first downs. Colson is the quarterback. Noah Gonzalez, the running back, to his right. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it off to Gonzalez again up the middle, and this is not their starting running back, or hasn't been, and he picks up another 7 yards down to the 26-yard line. So they're getting big openings there up the middle.
Right. Talk about establishing the running game. The offensive line from Brownwood, Coach Spear talked about how big they are. Right now they're winning the battle.
Well, that's that zone read, and Colson, you can see he's leaving it in there a long time to pull it out and run himself. 2nd and 2. They hand it off to Gonzalez again, and he'll get the first down to about the 21-yard line, another 4 or 5-yard gain. 1st and 10. 9:06 go, first quarter, no score. Lions driving.
Bulldogs make some substitutions as Kastner comes back in, and number 56, Evan Joyner, comes back in. But it seems like reminiscent of the last time we were here, Mark. We just had a little trouble stopping that zone read play.
It's the 23-yard line where they spotted it. It is a first down. Gonzalez in the pistol formation behind Colson, the quarterback. 2 receivers to the right. Snap. They hand it off to Gonzalez. He's hit, but he drags a player forward. Then push back at the 20, gain of 3. Bulldogs got a little bit of penetration in there to slow him down. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
I believe that's O'Hare. Riley Howe, who had some shoulder pad problems, but he made that tackle and ended up having to come out this play.
2nd and 7, 8. 2 receivers to the right. Colson, he's going to roll to throw. Pressure comes. He throws it out, and
wow, that's a nice play.
He's out of bounds. Whew, that was close.
He
was out of bounds. The ref was very adamant about that over there. I thought he was, but then that foot was close, but he was on the Brownwood sideline. And incomplete. This brings up an important 3rd and 8.
Yeah, it looked good from here. And a good job of finding that receiver, but just led him too far.
3rd and 8. Yes, because he had pressure. He threw that a long way from where he was in the backfield on a line drive.
Yeah, he really
Colson.
did. That was a nice throw.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Important 3rd down. Bulldogs need to get a stop. Pistol formation. Gonzalez behind Colson. Snap. They're going to hand it off to Gonzalez. Tries to get to the right side. Bulldogs pursuit. Do they get him out of bounds? I don't know. Let's see where they mark it. I think he's short of the first down. Didn't think he had that much. They give him the 16, but it is short. A gain of 4. 4th down and 3. Let's see what they usually always have a good kicking game, but right now, 4th and 3. Offense stays on the field. Bulldogs, again, couldn't come up with some of these stops last week. Have a chance to get a turnover on downs. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 4th and 3. From the 16-yard line, Colson, snap back. He's going to throw. Has time. The flat, and the catch is made at about the 10. It was that little out again, and Bulldogs not there. 4th down. They convert to the 10.
That play looked more like he was out of bounds than the previous
the other one. I kept waiting for some kind of signal, but they do give him the catch at the 10. I didn't see who it was on that far side.
Who it was, catching or defending?
Catching. 1st and goal from the 10 for the Lions. They keep the drive alive on 4th down.
Number 2, Carson Noe.
No, he's their leading receiver, I believe. Now it's a direct snap this time. That is not Colson. It is
good tackle.
Good tackle there at the 10, no gain. It was Gonzalez in the quarterback spot, a direct snap. We've lost the name. Used to, we had the Wildcat and all you don't see that as much called by that name, but that's the old Wildcat.
Yep, that was Trevin Park adding to his tackle total.
No gain, 2nd and 10.
With a really nice job of holding on to his ankle, or he would have gone a little bit further.
Well, It is, again, Gonzalez in the wildcat position, man in motion. He's going to pitch it on the sweep to number 7. He breaks a tackle. He doesn't get to the goal line, and it's third down. That was to 7, I believe, Raven Prado. So a little change up here. They only got him to the 4. So it's third down and goal from the 4.
Right
the
now,
Lions driving.
Right now, Mark, they're just winning the battle up front.
Yep.
A lot more physical than we are.
It is again Gonzalez. Sends a man in motion. This time he keeps it himself up the middle and
Yeah, that's just a big
touchdown.
Just
He
a
has
big
a
hole.
hole.
Yep.
And there go the lights. 4-yard touchdown by Gonzalez. Noah Gonzalez with the carry. So they just put him at quarterback for the last part of that drive, and the Lions lead 6-0.
Yeah, Mark, we really have no one in the backfield and just getting pushed back right now, and that's been the difference. That was a good drive by Brownwood.
Here's the extra point attempt. Snap is back, hold is good, and the kick is on the way, and we're going to go ahead and take a break. It's good. With 5:51 to go in the first quarter, Brownwood 7, Bulldogs nothing on BTXSportsOnline.com. KMPN 95.9 FM.
When it comes to news stories about the Middle East, there's plenty of spin, usually against Israel.
So where can you turn for a more balanced approach? The Land and the Book, heard right here on KHCB.
Hi, I'm Charlie Dyer, and at The Land and the Book, we're committed to covering stories in the Middle East biblically and fairly.
We also let you in on conversations with people who are making a big difference in this region.
So join us on Saturdays at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. on KHCB for The Land and the Book.
Mark Edmondson, Roy Kaiser back with you live. 7-0. The Lions take their opening drive. Bulldogs got them to a 4th down and a 3rd and goal, but could not get the stop. Most of it, one pass actually completed on the drive. The rest was all running.
And a lot of zone read by the quarterback, just making the read on the defenders and either keeping it or most of the time just handing it off. But the holes that the offensive line created there, Mark, were just something the Bulldogs have got to figure out, or it's going to be a long night.
Well, Brownwood has come out with intensity. I don't know. I know the Bulldogs have the intensity down there, no doubt, but they don't seem to have quite the same pep as we were seeing. So very early here, and no, they'll get to that, but this is the kind of game you got to be there in a hurry. A return from the 5 on the kickoff. Up the middle, hit at the 25. And driven back there. I mean, Brownwood really, even on special teams, you see that their little urgency from them. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 25. They trail 7-0.
That's a good way to put it, or playing with pride and not really used to a 3-3 record at this point in the season. And, you know, we've been here a few times, and we've played Brownwood a few times, once at the Alamo Dome, and they're a hard-hitting football program. They always have been. I know they work hard, do a good job in the weight room, so they're playing with pride tonight so far.
Got the diamond formation for the first time tonight. Laidler in the pistol behind Murray. Now man goes in motion. That's Kasner. Going to pitch it to Laidler, and he tries to, and he is hit hard at the 25. They are coming up and hitting hard. Laidler, no gain. 2nd and 10. But, I mean, they just seem quicker right now than us. I know we're not firing off, it seems, anywhere. We're kind of in a little slow motion.
Yeah, and you can't be in slow motion against a football team that's desperate for a win and used to hitting hard. And I didn't want to call it, but Laidler felt the hard hit on that one.
There, very much so. Came up from that safety position and knocked him back. 2nd and 10 from the 25. First quarter, 5:04, clock runs. Man goes in motion. Murray hands off to Coronado, and he keeps his feet to get past the 30 to the 31. There's going to be a quick, important 3rd down. They gained 6 on it, but it's 3rd down and a solid 4 yards from the 31-yard. We need to convert.
Huge play, and, you know, the slant to Williams a while ago was open. We just it was just kind of an errant throw. Let's see if the Bulldogs can find the answer in the passing game here.
It is 3rd and 4. 2 receivers to the left. It's going to be a keep up the middle, pushing forward, and Coronado, I think, gets there just by second effort. He does get to the 30. So that should be a first down. Coronado, that was the wild dog. That was the direct snap to Coronado, and he does move the chains. And maybe they're seeing right now running is where we need to be, and he did run. And they would have gone for it there, I think, if he was just short. But glad to pick it up at the 35. 1st and 10. Hard running.
Yeah, it was a nice play. He ducked his head and just it was not to be stopped on that play.
2 receivers to the left. Snap it to Coronado. They're handing off to him. He makes a man miss. He's still on his feet.
Face mask.
And then a face mask is on a B pass midfield to the 47, and you're going to add 15 more. Coronado chewing up the yards here right now, and that's what we need. Get the good drive just got better, and they had to get him. He was still going. They were doing whatever they could. There were 4 around Coronado at least. Great run again. He runs big. He's tall, but he runs upright, which you don't always see a lot. But he's so strong with it, they can't get him down.
On that play right there, he did all that he does. He ran fast. He turned around backwards and ran. He stiff-armed. And unfortunately, the Bulldogs are going to tack on 15 more for a blatant face mask.
That was first of all, an 18-yard gain. And then it goes down to the 32 on the penalty. 1st and 10. Bulldogs trying to answer. They trail 7-0. They're at the 32-yard line of Brownwood. 2 backs in the backfield with Murray. Man goes in motion. That's Pimentel. Snap to throw. Looking, has to get rid of it, and dangerous pass in the middle and can't connect. Right now we're not on the same page in the passing game, and he had time. He did have time. Tried to get it to Howell, and then incomplete.
Yeah, you're right, Mark. We're not on the same page, but as I see it, the receivers aren't really getting open. The secondary is doing a really good job at covering.
2nd and 10 from the 32-yard line. Going to hand it off to Coronado. There's a hole up the middle. Lowers his shoulder. I mean, that's the last 2 or 3 yards with somebody of full contact pushing him back, but he forces it the other way. Strong run to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and definitely 2-down situation here.
Well, and fortunately for the Bulldogs, Coronado is running tough because right now that's about all we have going.
And I don't know that we want to change that. 3rd down and 3. They jump. Free play here. Got a chance for Stanford at the goal line. It is a touchdown. If they didn't blow the whistle, it would be a 25-yard touchdown.
There's the flag. We got it.
All right. They did not blow the whistle. They had him jump offside. Stanford went. Murray saw it. He does such a great job to get him offside. And Murray to Stanford on the 25-yard touchdown. Bulldogs trail 7-6 with the extra point to come. There's the offside call. It's declined. That was well done by the refs because they didn't. We saw some of that a couple times. They blew the whistle. We weren't sure. They let it play out. Stanford and Murray did what they do and got the touchdown.
I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a
times?
high school football team that adept at drawing people offside.
Snapback. Hold is good. Marco Campos worked ties it up at 7. We're keeping it here. What a big answer for the Bulldog offense. You got to give the nice play there at the end, but Coronado was the key to that drive.
Oh, there's no doubt Coronado was the main guy on that one, and obviously the guys up front in creating some of those holes. But the yards after contact, Mark, and then you're aided by the penalty, the face mask penalty, and what a great job by Murray.
That's because they couldn't get him down.
That's true. And then what a great job by Murray to draw them off sides and Stanford to get open.
Keep going. Yeah, you keep playing, make them make the decision. And
so Bulldog Nation can take a deep breath.
I needed that deep breath.
And we're right back in this.
The defense.
And now we got to answer on the defensive line. They've I'm sure have been challenged on the sideline over there as I saw them sitting on the bench. Being coached up, and let's see if they can step up and meet the task.
7-7 our score. 3:07 to go in the first quarter. Again, what a great find and a weapon that Campo worked to his men. Marco about to kick off, but another extra point. Had 3 field goals in one game.
Mark, that extra point cleared the top of the goalpost. Pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. And he's about to kick off from the 40. And he puts a leg into it, and it's going to be returned from the 5. They fumble it. He picks it up at the 5. Start to carry it out. Bulldogs trying to get the coverage, and they do at the 15, so that sets them back a little. That was number 15. For them, Devin Eanes. So did you have that other roster on the backside of the – on your yeah, that one?
I think I do.
Sorry, thank you for that. Help me out. I appreciate that. Yep. All right, so they start at their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, good job by the Bulldogs on that kickoff and covering it. And so we put Brownwood in a little bit of a hole here.
1st and 10 for the Lions. They drove down the field, a different back in the backfield. Let me see who that is when you get a chance. Help me out. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. They're going to hand it off. No, it's going to be a throw. He pulls it back, then gets it up. And the Bulldogs had left 14, and that's going to end up being a gain. We went with the deep pass, and there was nobody on 14. Fortunately, he's not their speediest receiver, but Colson, that was a good fake. He did throw it, got yardage up to about the 28-yard line, first down.
Well,
28. No, it's 28. Sorry.
We were really so fooled by that play, Mark, that Colt Johnson came from his defensive end position to make the tackle on the sideline. Good hustle by that young man.
Yes. So 1st and 10 at the 28. Snap back. Colson throws. Wide receiver screen. It's caught up by the side. They try to get to the edge. Going to pick up some positive yards, but let's see where they give it. That was not too big a gain. I think the 31, which is a gain of 4. Bulldogs able to kind of push him out, gain a long 3. Sorry.
Brownwood,
2nd and 7.
Brownwood does such a good job of making contact on blocks and maintaining contact. And you've seen it in a lot of games that we've played them. You just can't disengage.
Trip receivers to the left for the Lions. Colson gets the snap. He's going to throw. Has time. Out in the flat again. Catch is made. Bulldogs make a good open field tackle. Is that Laidler?
That should be Laidler.
Laidler, and it was a good open field tackle. His 10 had a lot of space if he could have got open, and that was Aaron Edmonds. But that's a loss of one, and a big 3rd down. 3rd and a long 8, or long 7, short 8.
What a great job of anticipating. In basketball, I call it the go move, when the offensive player has to make his move.
2 receivers right, 2 to the left on 3rd down. Colson's going to hand it off on the delay. There's a hole up the middle, and the Bulldogs do not make the stop. Again, we are fooled by the just that delay, and we cannot get off the field right now on 3rd down. Matthew Rodriguez with that carry. Matthew Rodriguez on 3rd down and long. They run it and pick up the yardage for the 1st down. We just could not get there for the tackle.
Well, and again, we're just being pushed around right now.
1st and 10 at the 39. It was a gain of 9 on 3rd and 8. Pistol formation. Colson, he hands it off to Rodriguez again, and he pushes forward, and he gives a good surge up to about the 44-yard line, a gain of 5, 2nd down. And 5. And, the Bulldogs inside, the games before, they'd played some big offensive units, but had done a pretty good job getting some penetration. But these last 2 weeks, it's been very tough.
And that's going to be key tonight. If the Bulldogs can get in the backfield, we can disrupt some of these plays.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left. They're going to throw it. Colson throws it up and, hanging on for dear life, and finally knocked down is 14. It was a good job just to keep from letting go, but Colson just kind of flat-footed that one. He gets it again to Grant Grave, I think, with the catch, or Grave, but it's past midfield to the 46-yard line.
Mark, those receivers are they're too open. We're really too soft on the coverage on the sideline.
1st and 10 at the Burnett 46. We're tied at 7. Lions past midfield. Man goes in motion. They're going to throw. Colson throws it out in the flat. And, again, nobody near the receiver. He's not going to get the 1st down because he was so far in the backfield. But we're losing players. He ends up getting to the 40-yard line. I know sometimes you have to let somebody go, but not by 30 yards.
Well, and it's almost like some of these plays we haven't seen. And
it's 2nd and 4.
Like this is the first game they've run them.
2nd down and 4, yeah.
Wide open.
Pistol formation. Snap back. No whistle. We have a penalty. or
Nope,
timeout?
that's the end
of the quarter.
quarter.
We're going to the second quarter. Fast-moving first quarter. At the end of one, the Burnet Bulldogs 7, the Brownwood Lions 7 on BTXSportsOnline.com, KMPN 95.9 FM.
This is Raising Godly Girls Minute with Patty Garibay of American Heritage Girls.
This is so unfair. Gabby's parents don't make her do chores. Heard this lately? Family chores are a training ground ripe with maturing potential and conflict, but Christian parents are investing in the next generation of leaders, so chores are, in essence, a must. The earlier you instill a routine of family chores, the more smoothly the culture is set for your girl. A Harvard study spanning 8 decades revealed what many biblical precepts lovingly prescribe. Childhood chores produce well-rounded adults, competent, capable, leadership-minded problem solvers. Additionally, it fosters a deep sense of belonging and positive impact. Proverbs 31 verse 27 speaks of a motivated, capable, faithful woman who expertly cares for her family. Imagine your girl's potential in 25 years, all because you carved out a consistent path of helping in various ways.
Learn more about empowering girls through the love of God at raisinggodlygirls.com.
Mark Edmondson and Roy Kaiser back with you live. We are at the top of the hour. You're listening to Burnet Bulldog Football on KMPN. Burnet. All right, we start the second quarter with a second down and about 4 for the Lions. We are tied at 7. They're at the Burnet 40-yard line. Bulldogs looking to try to get something on defense. Colson, snapback to throw, has time in the pocket, deep, has a man, and it's caught at the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown. And there go the lights before I can see who made the catch. It's a 40-yard touchdown from Colson. I think it was at number 2. I believe it was 2. And that is Carson No. And 13-7 with the extra point to come. And we just let the defender get behind us.
Right. No just ran past us, gave a little quick hitch move, froze the cornerback, and then just went right by him.
Extra point attempt. So on the first play of the second quarter, the Lions regain the lead. Snapback, hold is good, and the kick is good. So we'll keep it here. 11:52 to go in the second quarter, and now we're looking at a game like last week again. 14-7 already here. A lot of scoring. The drive's been a little longer, but both offenses putting points up.
That last play, Mark, the play action to the running back, number 18, Gonzalez froze our safety, and the hitch move or the quick move by No just allowed – there was no one there and no one deep to cover that pass. So the play action worked, and you've got to respect it, right, because they've had so much success running the football, but can't let anybody get behind you.
All right, now you put pressure back on the Bulldogs offense. We are trail now 14-7, 11:52 to go in the second quarter.
And that's a good way to put it. That's exactly what happened last week. You wouldn't get a stop, and so then you feel like, well, you've got to score because we've allowed them to score.
And that gets into where last week at the end, you have one play that ends the game. Kickoff, line drive, and it's going to be returned from the 5 by Johnson again. He's hit and pushed back at about the 16, 17, give him, I think, the 18-yard line. That was a 40-yard TD pass for the Lions. And now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Mark it at the own 18-yard line, so not good field position.
No, starting out pretty much where Brownwood did last time.
Bulldogs offense comes on the field trailing for the second time, 14-7, 11:45 to go. First half here from Brownwood. It's an important district ball game. Diamond formation. Laidler in the pistol behind Murray. They're going to hand it off on the inside, and that took a little longer. Is that Lopez? I think on this side it was Peyton Lopez, pardon me. It's Peyton Lopez. He had a good game last week. He did somehow get positive yards to the 20. I actually thought they'd stopped right at the line, but they give him a yard or two. Second down and 8.
Yeah, the defensive ends closed pretty hard. Well, really 3 or 4 Brownwood Lions closed pretty hard on that play, and
So
we just couldn't get it sealed.
second down and a long 8 from the 20. Two backs in the backfield. They hand it off to Sanchez this time, and he stays on his feet, and he's going to get near the first down marker. And short of it, but they give him the 26-yard line. That's a gain of 6. It's going up a third, and where they mark it almost 3 yards. I know that they can stop it on any play, but right now Sanchez seems to be Sanchez now not in the backfield. That Coronado is the go-to. He's just been able to find that little seam, and they're going to hand it off to him again. This time he bounces the outside in, comes back in to get the first down. He's reading the blocks well. He's making the right cut. He's up to the 32-yard line. That's a gain of 6 on third down. Moves the chains. Coronado just really standing out here tonight, and they might have to lean on him, but if they do, I mean, you got to do what's working.
That's what I was about to say. You've got to ride that horse until they stop it, and
he
they
comes
haven't
out,
yet.
but he a little favoring the leg a little bit, give him a rest. So that's the other problem, though. You're trying to keep him fresh. They do have other backs real capable. Kasner in there now. Trip receivers to the right. They're going to throw. Murray. He swings it out. Catch is made. Makes one man miss. That's a good move on the outside. I might be Howell. Double check that.
That's 7.
It was Howell, and really nice job because they could have, Riley Howell could have been taken down maybe for a yard gain, if any, but instead gets that leg up out of the way and gets to the 39-yard line, 7-yard gain. So much different, second down and 3.
Yeah, I don't know. You might call that a great move or maybe just a missed tackle, but maybe
Either
a
way.
combination of both.
I'll take what I get.
But it was a good play.
Second down and 3. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now Howell goes into the backfield with Murray. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it off. Lopez, I believe, up the middle. He's not going to get the first down. He's pushed back at the 40 or 41. Check that. Was that Lopez on the other side? No, it was Kasner. No? Might have been Kasner with the carry. It was Kasner. Sorry, Kasner. And he gets to the 41-yard line. That's very close to the first down. Less than a yard. So it's third down and 1. Lopez checks back in for the Bulldogs. 8:52 in counting here in the first half. Lions lead 14-7.
Mark, I like this matchup here with Williams on a really much smaller
Murray,
cornerback.
snapback. They hand it off to Lopez up the middle, and he just lowers the shoulder and gets the first down. He should easily get past that 40. Yes, there they moved the chains. Sorry about that.
No, it's they're snapping it pretty quick, but Williams is being guarded by a much smaller defender, number 11 for Brownwood, Kenvin McDowell. And you might see the Bulldogs take advantage of that at some point.
He doesn't get it all the way to the 42, but it wasn't up for the 43, but he gets the first down. So it's kind of in that spot between the 42 and 43-yard line. Boy, I just paint a picture, don't I? Know exactly. First and 10 for the Bulldogs.
I feel like I'm right there.
Yeah. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 2 backs, but he's going to throw. Murray, he has the man out in the flat, caught by Kasner, turns it up, lowers the shoulder. Don't know where they'll mark it. He got hit hard there at the border of the line. Does get past midfield. A good mark there to the 49-yard line on the Brownwood side of the field. And they're moving the sticks. That was
I don't
enough.
think
I didn't.
They marked him short.
They shouldn't have moved the other.
Right. But it was only a yard or two short.
Yeah, no, he's close. It was at the 42.
So
8-yard 9. He got 9 yards because he went to the 49.
Well, great catch.
It was.
Out in front of him, caught it with his hands, and then he punished the defensive back or the safety who tried to come up and make that tackle.
Clock is stopped here as he was out of bounds too, but they're fixing the markers. So it is second down and 1. They're at the Lions' 49-yard line. You got trip receivers.
Is that Coronado back in there? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Josiah Coronado in the backfield. To the right of Murray on second down and short.
I think everybody knows what's coming. Let's see if the offensive line can execute it.
Waiting for the snap. They hand it off to Coronado. He is hit and stretches, and I think he'll get the first. He just does such a great job. He was hit, wrapped at the legs, and he just knew. And again, that tall body, he was able to stretch out when he got the first down. Those little runs, you move the chains. Just great effort to the 47.
You got to keep the drive going, and you don't want to put the Bulldogs in a
third
bad spot.
You make that third and then a false start or something. It changes so much. Now you have the first down. Just effort.
It's effort, and it's also so much intelligence on how to get the first down and how to run.
Two receivers to the right. We've got the diamond formation. Laidler in the pistol. Now man goes in motion. That's Kasner. They're going to hand it off to Laidler. He's looking for some room, and he does, and he splits through. Can he get away? He does. To the 20 and then pulled down inside there. Good run by Laidler as he pulls through at least a couple of tackles and gets an extra 15 or 20 yards as he'll get down to the, I think, 17. Let's see where they mark this. It's the 16, and it was at the 47. That is 31 yards, 31-yard run. Great run by Laidler.
And considering his last run was 0 yards, no gain, that was a great one.
1st and 10 at the 16. Going to be a handoff to, I don't think that was Coronado, though. Let me see. That he was on the other side of Murray. Be a short. It was Coronado. It was Coronado. He gets down to, looks like about the 15. I give him the 14. Still 3 yards. 2nd down and 7.
And again, just all Coronado ducking his shoulder pads, running behind his shoulder pads, and getting good yardage.
Bulldogs trail by 7. 6:19 to go in the first half. Diamond formation. 3 backs in the backfield to throw. Murray to the end zone, trying to get it to Laidler, and not there. Again, pretty good coverage everywhere. So it's 3rd down now, 3rd and long for the Bulldogs. Again, you don't want it to stall down here. They trail 14-7, 6:09. Clock stopped on the incompletion.
Yeah, I know Murray wanted to go to Laidler that whole time, but the defense just did a good job of covering him out of the backfield, and it looks like he might have had Pimentel over the middle instead.
Pimentel checks in. This is 3rd and about 7 from the 14-yard line. Coronado to the right of Murray. Murray sends a man in motion. Handed off to Coronado, and not as much room there. He couldn't find it. This is going to bring up an interesting play for the Bulldogs. Gained about 1. Makes it 4th down. This is 4th down.
This is 4th, and looks like the offense is staying on the field.
Right now, we trail 14-7. This is 4th and a solid
play.
6 yards. From the 13, it is a huge play.
Huge decision.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Murray has Coronado to his left. 4th and long to throw. Murray waits, throws to the end zone, and he throws it out of the end zone. It wasn't even close. And it's a turnover on downs. I just didn't give anybody a chance there.
No, the receiver looked like he kind of curled the route off as he I think that was Stanford. He got some contact, so he curled back in, and maybe Murray anticipated him to continue to run to the pylon because that's where Murray threw it.
So it is a turnover on downs, a crucial 5:26, and the Bulldogs defense has not stopped the Lions. They trail 14-7. This is where you need one of those balls knocked loose or on the ground, and they get the second half kickoff.
Yeah, this is a big drive for the Burnett defense.
And the Lions know it's a big one for them. Colson at quarterback gets the snap. Zone read, he keeps it, and he has good space. We're just giving up way too many yards there up the middle. That gets it up to about the 20. It was at the 13, yes. So gain of 7, 2nd down and 3 for the Lions. Clock runs 5:07 to go, first half.
Well, the zone read has really hurt us, Mark. The offensive line is sealing us to the outside, creating big gaps, and we're running straight up the field.
Pistol formation on 2nd down and 4. They're going to hand it off. That's Gonzalez, I think, on the carry on that outside, number 18. Noah Gonzalez. Let's see where I don't think he got the first down. He ran sideways. Let's see what – is there a flag over there? They're talking about something.
And they stopped the clock.
They went out of bounds.
But they're discussing something.
Oh, it looked like they were about to walk back. Could have been a hold. I don't know. No. Still discussing maybe where he went out of bounds. It's only at about the 19-yard line. It was a loss.
That was a hold.
A hold. It is against the Lions. And this is where usually the Bulldogs had done a good job during the year, but last week they couldn't take advantage of any of these. You push them back. That would have made it, I don't know where the ball was going to be spotted. It would have been third down. But now it's second again, but all the way back to the 10-yard line where they mark it at the 9-yard line. So that makes it second down and about 13. You got to think they're going to throw it here, try to get something up the field. But the running has worked so well. They snap. He does look to throw. Has time, though, middle of the field. And this one is caught. And then a missed tackle, and they get a first. That just hung up in the air. That was not. And it'll get them a first down or very close to it.
Yeah, Mark, that
I
play,
don't know where we are in the
that
second.
play was really kind of indicative of what we've seen from the Bulldogs secondary for a lot of games is just the ball is there, and we're going to, allow the catch and then make the tackle instead of making a play on the ball.
And they get it to the 25, first down. That was a 16-yard gain after you set them back with the hold. Pistol formation, first down for the Lions. Snap. They going to be the zone read, and we bid on that as well. And he might go. Colson, we got a running down from behind. Stanford, and then pulled down. He might have been pulled down by the face mask, but no call there. But he gets it all the way down to the 24. Right now, we are completely fooled by what they're doing on offense. Our end came in, and Colson, he's got to keep that contained, right?
Well, Colson has
24-yard line.
Colson has good speed, and if you allow him to get outside, which is what we just saw right there, you're right. Our defensive ends and our cornerbacks are just crashing in.
50-yard gain. We're not being disciplined there. First and 10 at the Burnett, 24. Pistol formation. They hand it off. Bulldogs were there at the point of attack that time. Got the carry for them. I think that was 18. It was. Yeah, 18 again. It was Gonzalez. And maybe I give him no gain. But the Bulldogs have not been able to make stops on consecutive plays. It's second down and 10 from the Burnett 24, and crucial, 14-7. Bulldogs already down by 7.
Well, that time we had 3 Bulldogs able to get off of their blockers. Park, one of them, 44.
No room to run. You got to have somebody. You got to fill those gaps.
44 Billick also on the tackle.
2 receivers to the left. Colson. This time, ball on the ground. Somebody's got to go get it, but we cannot get there. Colson recovers it back to the 29. I'll be honest, the Lions are trying to help us. Had the hold down here. You've got the ball on the ground. It's third and long. The Bulldogs defense, they can't be an excuse. You've got to get it if you want to have a chance in this game. Still plenty of chance, but 14-7, this is important.
Well, that play showed exactly what's happening with the defensive line not being able to get any penetration because the ball was dropped on the ground right in front of them. Just no one there to get it.
Third down and 15. Got to try to get somebody in the backfield. Corral him. Back to the left of Colson. 2 receivers to the left. He's going to throw. He has plenty of time. Now pressure comes. Bulldog, then he throws it away. Smart play by Colson. It is 4th down and 15. We'll see here. They're at the 29-yard line. That would be quite a field goal attempt, but they've always had good kickers too, so we'll see what they decide.
They're going to leave their offense on the field, and they've had a lot of success with some
go deep
various plays, and we'll see what they.
Well, we need to stop. 2:16 to go. 4th and 15. It is early, but this is a game-changing moment right here. 4th down and 15 from the 29, and they only have 1 receiver split wide right. Man goes in motion. Low snap. They're going to deep, and they have a man up for grabs. And the Bulldogs defense let Noah get in front of him, and we don't knock it down. It's just bad defense. I'm sorry. It is. I mean, it's because he just threw it up there, and we had a man there, and we don't go get it. And Noah moves around him, in front of him, and just catches it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We were in a position to make a play, and at the last second, Noah just cut us off and ended up making a play
And
on
he
the
just
football.
threw it deep. It wasn't a line drive, and we didn't. And
No, the
Noah
coverage was there, just didn't make
kick
a
is
play.
on the way, and it's good. We're going to take a short break. Lions doing what they want. Bulldogs in a bit of disarray. They trail 21-7, 2:11 to go in the first half on KMPN 95.9 FM, BTXSportsOnline.com.
Marriage is a beautiful gift from God, but it can be hard sometimes. Really hard. Billy Graham had advice for struggling couples.
If you have trouble in your marriage today, start by asking, what is God's plan for our marriage? You that are having problems, tension, and bitterness in your home can have it changed and transformed by Christ. It will have to start with you.
How does that transformation happen? It starts by putting Jesus Christ first in your marriage.
A marriage that begins again at the foot of the cross is one in which we can say, by God's grace, I will love you, accept you, forgive you, as God has loved me, accepted me, and forgiven me. You do it by surrender and trust and faith.
We can help you find ways to strengthen your marriage. Go to billygraham.org and search for marriage. That's billygraham.org from the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
Oh, we got cut off. Test, 1, 2. Test, hello. All right. Sorry about that. Seemed we had some technical problem there. I think we're on there. Please check with down the line there. Dan, the kickoff by the Bulldogs. I'm going to keep talking, but let's make sure something happened to the equipment. From the 10, the Bulldogs return it. On his feet is Johnson again to the 29-yard line, and the Lions really playing with some intensity. They lead 21-7. They able on a 4th down and long. Bulldogs couldn't make the stop. Do please make sure we're still broadcasting. All right. Are we still on? 1st and 10. Somebody let us know if you're listening to us, please.
I hear it.
All right. Okay, good. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. So, yeah, we had blinked out there. I'm not sure. Might have been electrical. All right. Might have been the computer itself. 1st and 10. Bulldogs have 2:04. Brownwood gets the ball in the second half. Start it. So Bulldogs need a score desperately. Trail by 2 touchdowns. Man goes in motion. Murray to throw. Has time. Throws it out in the flat. Caught by Williams. Williams still on his feet down the sideline. Tiptoes up near the 40. So a good start to the drive. Bulldogs got to just right now. It's hard. Not playing well. Lions are. But the Bulldogs still have had some opportunities, so long way to go. But they've got to turn this intensity around.
Well, that's the first time that Williams has touched the ball in a game and almost a half. And I think that's a guy that we've got to get the football in his hands.
Yeah, it's 1st and 10. 20, I believe where we started that drive at the 20.
So gain of 21?
21, yeah. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. A minute 58 to go. He had gone out of bounds. Clock had stopped. They're going to throw it. Murray in trouble. Now throws it deep, and Murray is not – he threw that 5 yards out of bounds. Not accurate right now, and kind of off the back foot. Had to get rid of it, but just, again, not in sync. Good coverage downfield up to a point, but we're just –
Well, he did a good job there, Mark, of moving up in the pocket and avoiding the pressure that was coming around him. But maybe not the best decision to throw that pass. And, you know, if he could use his feet a little bit, I think he could get 4 or 5 yards just on that kind of play.
Minute 51 to go. 2nd down and 10 from the 41. Murray gets the snap. Has time. Throws it middle of the field, high, away from Hal. He's just not on, though. Or whoever's not where they're supposed to be. The Lions had a better chance than Hal did. 2nd down, 3rd down and 10 out the incompletion.
Yeah, just really another pass behind the receiver at that point. But again, I think when the defense is doing a good job of covering our receivers, if he could just maybe find a way to get 3 or 4 yards that would loosen things up.
Yeah, you're right. It's not a threat right now. 2 receivers stacked on the left, 1 to the right on 3rd and 10. Then the Bulldogs call a timeout. I think the play clock was running down. We're going to keep it here.
Yeah, the Bulldogs, I think, had some confusion on where to line up and maybe what play to run. And so wisely get this timeout. You got a 3rd down, 1:45 left. You don't want to give the ball back to Brownwood with this much time on the clock. So this is a crucial 3rd down for the Bulldogs.
You'll have to bear with me. I want to check while we have a chance. I know it'll go on the air here for just a second, but I was going to try to make sure a spot started.
When it comes to news stories about the...
So they're still working. All right. I'll make sure my recorder on the computer was.
Coach Messer says he's listening. Thank you, Coach.
That way, yeah. It said, yes, I got a couple other messages that said, unfortunately, I'm still on, but Roy's great. Thanks. Appreciate that support.
Mr. Barrett.
Yes. It's all right. All right. Big 3rd down and 21-7. Bulldogs trail. 1:45 to go here in the first half. Need a conversion. They're at their own 41-yard line. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Coronado is in the backfield with Murray. Kasner in the slot. Man goes in motion. That's Pimentel. Murray, they bring pressure. He throws this, has Pimentel, makes a great catch. Can't get away. He might have gone, but a great catch to pick up a big 1st down to the 39-yard line on Lions side of the field.
Now that was a great throw, Mark. You put it right on him.
30-yard gain.
Where he could catch it.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we just couldn't break that tackle.
1st and 10, rolls. Murray looks, throws it out in the flat. Williams with the catch and then gets out of bounds at about the 30. Going to be close to the
Williams.
1st down, but I think a yard short. And it is plenty of time now, 122. After you got that 1st down, they mark him at the 31-yard line, a gain of 8. And now you can get the running game back in here.
For sure, yes. Now you've loosened it up a little bit, and maybe that middle's more open.
And it's 2nd and short. Coronado is in the backfield. 2 receivers to the right, stacked, 1 to the left. But it's going to be a run. And there's the opening, and he's hit hard but goes down. That was a good designed run to get Murray into it.
There it is. Yep.
Stops. Got to get plenty of time, not in a hurry. Gives them the 1st down. Let's see where they ended up marking it. About the 20. I thought he got a little further, but they give him the 27. Still a 4-yard gain and a 1st down.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we needed.
Minute 5 clock runs now. To throw. Throws deep to the right side and can't get there. Looked like the Williams might have stopped for a second and then started back up and couldn't get to it.
I don't think that's Williams. I think that's Stanford.
Stanford on the outside.
Yeah, just didn't continue the route. Maybe he thought the ball was going to be short, and it ended up going over his head.
2nd and 10, 56 seconds to go. It's homecoming for the Lions, and they have played well. Bulldogs trying to get it back to a 1-possession game here before half. It's 21-7. 2nd down and 10 for the Bulldogs at the Lions' 27-yard line. 2 backs in the backfield with Murray. He waits for the snap. Man goes in motion. Now he has it. And then they looked like they wanted a call for movement earlier, but then they waited until the snap, and then it looks like we got a false start against the Bulldogs. We were like in the position to snap it a long time there.
Really, Mark, I don't know that anybody moved. I didn't see any motion. Did the clock run out?
I don't know.
Sure didn't see anything.
They called it a false start.
Not sure who that would have been, but
so that puts it back to the 32-yard line. All right, so it is 2nd and 15 for the Bulldogs, 56 seconds to go. First half, trail 21-7. And now the Brownwood Lions coach coming halfway on the field.
I think he's putting himself in.
Discussion of like where the ball was put, but it was 2nd and 10 at the 27. It should be at the 32. That's That would be correct. 5 yards, false start. But the refs are having a long discussion. So in 56 seconds, again, there have been big plays already. We talked about game-changing moments, and the Bulldogs have not been able to make plays, and they're gonna need one to win this game. They've got to have something to change this momentum.
If Murray has time, I think Williams can get past this left side cornerback, number 11, McDowell.
He's playing right up on him. 2nd and 15. Murray, man goes in motion to throw. Throws it out to Coronado. Makes the catch, makes a man miss, and he'll score. Coronado does it out of the backfield, and it is a 32-yard touchdown pass from Rhett Murray to Coronado. Needed that, and even in that, he makes the catch. The man, he just sidesteps him to take it into the end zone. Coronado keeping the Bulldogs in this game, and a good throw and a good read by Murray there.
Well, it was a good read because the cornerback held Williams. He was looking for Williams the whole time. Williams was going to go on a route over the middle, and just grabbing his jersey and holding him, he couldn't throw it to him.
Snap, back, hold, good. Campos Huerta's quick kick is good. 47 seconds to go. We'll go ahead and keep it here. With 47 seconds, it's 21-14.
Yeah.
All right, now big play for the Bulldogs. Needed that, but now you got 47 seconds to take care of.
For sure. And on that last touchdown mark, Coronado comes out of the backfield, played to the left of Murray, came out of the backfield just up the sideline, and when Williams was taken out of the play, Murray did a great job of finding Coronado for the touchdown, and then a great move by Coronado to sidestep the defender. Fun play right there. That was a nice job.
Yeah, it was. And you get the score after the penalty. You get it after the play. It was going to have the first down, but just a nice job of, as you said, making that man miss, and then nobody there.
The Bulldogs are not going away.
No.
Now they've
not played well. I'm not trying to.
And they've slowed down the Brownwood offense on a few plays, but we've just not been able to stop.
But you got to make that play. I mean, 4th down doesn't get you the ball. And I'm not trying to, but it is not felt like the same intensity, but it's still 21-14. Long way to go, and that was a big answer there, no doubt. Marco Campos to kick it off for the Bulldogs. Line drive kick going to be returned from the 4-yard line to the 10, up to the 20-yard line, and good tackle there about the 23-yard line as they take down number 15, Devin Eames. So they're going to look for the big play. We have been fooled in the secondary. You got to believe they're at the 23-yard line. Brownwood starts this drive. 40 seconds.
I want to brag on number 88, Brian Johnson, as he ran down the middle of the field and just blew up a block and turned the ball carrier towards our sideline where he was able to be tackled by another Bulldog, but a great job of taking on that block, which is what the Bulldogs defense has got to do here.
1st and 10, Colson in the pocket. He's looking to throw deep, middle of the field, catch is made. Just too much open space. 14 gets it all the way to the 49-yard line. 14 is Grant Grove. And they're at the 49. 31, they stop the clock with the first down. They actually only they give him the 48-yard line on Brownwood's side. Clock runs again. Snap back. Colson has time. They're holding. They throw it up, and the catch is made. I mean, they're
inbounds, but
it was inbound. It stops with the first down. They get it down to the 38. There was a hold right at the quarterback, though, that they're not, and they haven't thrown a lot of flags, but it's down to the 38-yard line. 19 seconds. They call a timeout.
Those last two plays, Mark, they're sending a receiver deep as fast as he can go.
And we can't get him
and that's drawing our secondary out. And then our linebackers are not able to cover that mid to deep route. And that's burned us twice and 2 times in a row.
they would, I'm sure, be willing to at least get 3 out of it, which help them. But they've got 19 seconds and still 2 timeouts. We're just giving up too much space. This was 49 seconds, and they started back on their own 23, and now they're at the 38-yard line of Burnett with 19 seconds. But we're not able to get Colson's just standing in the pocket.
Well, he got a little pressure there, but I agree with you that he was being held,
a hold there.
And so it pushed the defender away from Colson and allowed him to have an angle to pass the football.
38-yard line, 2 receivers to the right. 1st and 10 for the Lions. They lead 21-14, 19 seconds ago, first half. Colson gets the snap. Bulldogs try to bring pressure. Middle of the field, catch is made. Flag back. This one I think is going to come back. It's going to be big because it was down to the 13-yard line, but this is coming back. Either hold or maybe somebody downfield, but I'm thinking maybe a hold that time. Let's see what they call it. It is coming back, and that would have put them at the 12. Ran 9 seconds off, so that's a huge play.
Well, it just looks at this point, Mark, like our blitzes are being picked up because
we had
Park
tried
came.
To bring it,
Park came in off the edge, and defense or the tackle just did a great job of picking him up. And the receivers look right now. They look pretty fast.
Yeah.
They look a lot faster than what we do in the secondary, and that's what's hurting us.
It takes it back to the 48. So instead of 1st and 10 at about the 12 or 13, you get a break here. Can your defense? You got 10 seconds. They still have 2 timeouts left. You got to try to make him. They do throw it. It's a double pass here.
It is.
They're doing it, and they're throwing it, and it's caught, and it was pitched out and then caught. 3 seconds. It took a lot of time, but they're at the 27-yard line. So let's see. I think they're using a timeout. Do they send out a field goal, or do they go to the end zone, which with 3 seconds they got one more play? They might have just been setting it up for another play. We are you can see that Foreman, and
yes,
we still not able to be there.
And really a pretty nice job by Noe that he caught it, and you knew he was going to throw it, but he caught it and got rid of it in a hurry. Great timing route. And
running across the field.
And able to get out of bounds.
Pearson. So it is first down. That doesn't matter. They have 1 timeout. That shouldn't matter at this point either. 3 seconds on the clock, 21-14. They have it at the 27. Let's see. It is the quarterback. You just can't give up this score. I think you give up this score, they get the ball the second half. You're not going to win this game. I know it's a long way to go, but it would just put such a strain. You've got a chance to stop them.
Well, you
got to keep them in front of you.
You can see what the Bulldogs are doing. Stanford. Yep. And who is that over there?
We
O'Hare?
are in deep coverage, yes.
O'Hare is deep. They're on the goal line.
The prevent, and then a timeout. Bulldogs will keep it here. They wanted to check the defense. Both teams realizing, this is in Bulldogs' favor. There's no doubt about it. But if they make a play here, they call timeout, burn it. It'll still stay here, and then we'll come back with 3 seconds. We've got guys explaining again. We might change it a little bit here. We had guys at the goal line, a prevent type defense. You just got to keep them in the field to play. With 3 seconds, nothing matters but them getting into the end zone.
Well, and if we're honest, we've been beat tonight deep, and we've also been beaten over the middle, semi-deep in that mid-range area. So
and that's a lot of room to run. No, yeah,
it doesn't look good at this point because that's what we're trying to defend. And so your 2 deep guys, O'Hare and Stanford, have got to do a good job of making a play on the football.
Yeah,
they can't just let the ball float in the air because Brownwood will go get it.
Yes. Here we go. It is first down, but at the 27. Only 3 seconds left. Colson.
Williams back there, too. That's a good play.
Shotgun. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. He gets the snap. Bulldogs do bring pressure, knocked up in the air and incomplete. Great job. It was at Pimentel, I think, who came off the edge. It's an incomplete pass, got around the outside, and did a nice job and a big stop. And you did. You got to get pressure on him in that situation, force him to throw it quick. Great job.
Fantastic job by Marcus Pimentel. And that time, the pressure that the coaches dialed up was very effective, got a knockdown, and prevented them the touchdown.
Yes, and so they will get the second half kickoff, but Bulldogs still only trail by 7 and get a defensive stop. Whether the situation it was.
Sure.
All right, we're going to take this break. We're at halftime. The Esprit de Corps about to go onto the field again. We talked about already going to the area round, and, of course, the great job they do. So they're continuing to prepare for that. We're at halftime. It's been a little struggle, but a long way to go. And you look up at halftime, and it's a game that a lot of things could happen in the second half. Appreciate you joining us. As the halftime score, the Brownwood Lions on their homecoming night, 21, the Burnet Bulldogs 14 on BTXSportsOnline.com and KMPN 95.9 FM.
This is Word to the Wise with Dr. William Blocker, president of the College of Biblical Studies.
Have you ever seen the wind? Jesus said in John 3:8, "The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but do not know where it comes from and where it's going. So is everyone who's born of the Spirit." If you are seeing no signs of a spiritual breeze in your life, here's a word to the wise. Just as the wind is under God's sovereign control and cannot be seen except for its effects, so is the new birth. God sovereignly regenerates those who trust in His Son, and then His Spirit is forever influencing them. If you desire a new birth, ask God for the winds of change in Christ.
Word to the Wise with Dr. William Blocker is a service of the College of Biblical Studies. For more information, contact us at 713-77-BIBLE or cbshouston.edu.
From the files of Unshackled, Pacific Garden Mission presents Free Indeed.
My Christian father was a colonel in the Ugandan army and helped overthrow the dictator Idi Amin. When I was 7, he was assassinated. Someone looted his bank accounts, leaving my mother penniless and me with nightmares. After Dad's death, we lived with Mother's wealthy Muslim family on a farm outside Kampala. Mother wrote letters to the president of Uganda, asking him to pay for our education since my father died for his country. My life spiraled into worse turmoil. Nevertheless, my schoolwork was good and my exams qualified me for the best boarding school in Uganda. The president agreed to pay for my education. The school was run by Christians. I hated them and even pushed a table against one, injuring her. Guilt consumed me, but she forgave me. One night, evil spirits frightened me and I prayed to God. I read Psalm 91 and was amazed at its beauty. I slept well and began reading the Bible daily. When I finished, I asked Jesus to save me. He did, and all my fear vanished. Jesus set me free. I'm Jahan Benz. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed.
If you would like to be free from the weight of sin by receiving Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, or maybe you have questions about it, call 1-888-NEED-HIM right now. Free Indeed is a production of Pacific Garden Mission, 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. Email unshackled@pgm.org.
Back to Genesis with Dr. John Morris, scientist with the Institute for Creation Research. Dr. Morris, now I've heard that sometimes germs evolve. Is this true?
Chris, this is a common claim that some germs acquire the ability to infect certain new species, or maybe they become resistant to drugs. But this is not evolution. In fact, it's really devolution, the loss of ability or the loss of genes to accomplish a certain purpose. A recent study showed that the whooping cough bacteria lost a certain suite of genes, which caused the animal host immune system not to recognize it. Now a new animal can be infected, but is this evolution? What happens here is the loss of genes, not the gain of genes as evolution needs. What results is death, not life. While it doesn't fit the evolution view, it does fit the creation followed by the fall and the curse view, and that's the back to Genesis view.
Thanks for tuning in to Back to Genesis.
From the files of Unshackled, Pacific Garden Mission presents Free Indeed.
I was totally chained by evil. Dad was my example. He'd drink, then beat Mom. Finally, she left so he wouldn't kill her. I learned drinking in the Army from some real pros. Then my civilian career took me from a hospital kitchen to the executive chef at a Baltimore hotel. All my specialties contained alcohol, and I'd order twice what the recipe needed, half for the food and half for me. Then I'd get drunk and quit, but beg for my job back later. A regular cycle, and I, too, was a violent drunk, so the wife and kids left me, and I lost my job. After that, I served sentences for drunkenness more than 60 times. My social worker tried every program and medication available to drive me out, but finally gave up and declared me incurable. I had ulcers so bad I bled from the mouth, vomited up everything, and couldn't stand straight. I often used the old Baltimore rescue mission as a flophouse. One night I stumbled in looking terrible, so they sent me to their doctor. She went out of her way to treat me and then told me Jesus would never give up on me. She said, "What man can't do, God can." That evening, I gave God a try. What a change. Dried up my desire for alcohol, calmed my angry soul, and made me a new man, a prisoner set free. I'm Norman Joe Jackson, and if the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed.
If you would like to be free from the weight of sin by receiving Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, or maybe you have questions about it, call 1-888-NEED-HIM right now. Free Indeed is a production of Pacific Garden Mission, 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. Email unshackled@pgm.org.
Mark Edmondson back with you live, along with Roy Kaiser. We're at halftime of Esprit de Corps performing here from Gordonwood Stadium in Brownwood, Texas. 20 minutes or so on the halftime clock, so we still got some time. It's 21-14. The Bulldogs trail the Lions. The Lions will get the second half kickoff, so that'll be a telling drive as the Bulldogs trail here. The last had some excitement in it, but that last couple of minutes, big for the Bulldogs, important as they scored, and even though the Lions were able to move it down the field, not able to put points on the board.
Yeah, got them in a fourth down situation where they had to make a play, and the Bulldogs dialed up some pressure, and Marcus Pimentel got his hands up and blocked the pass from the quarterback.
Let's get some stats.
Murray through the air tonight is 6 of 13 for 101 and 1 touchdown. And catching those passes, you've got Williams with 2 catches for 29, Howell with 1 catch for 7, Pimentel 1 catch for 30, Stanford 1 catch for 25.
That was the other touchdown.
That was the other touchdown. And Coronado, his 32-yard reception for the touchdown, and Kastner 1 for 9. So, not that effective through the air, although we did score a touchdown through the air, so maybe there's something there that the Bulldogs can take advantage of and find some holes in the defense.
Both ended up being touchdowns through the air to Coronado out of the backfield. But the running game was what was really opening it up. The situation is the offense, that first drive, just, again, kind of stalled out. But the offense has done what it's supposed to. You look up for the most part. You get 14 points on it. But they haven't had the opportunities because the Lions have been able to keep the ball and put it in the end zone 3 times. And so, that's going to have to be. But the offense is going to have to keep that pressure on. But the defense has to find us not getting in a situation where it's 4th down and long. And we were talking about it off the air. the Bulldogs defense has given up some big plays throughout the season. We've seen that at times. But over the last couple of weeks, they haven't been able to make one of those plays. Usually, I mean, we would hit somebody, knock the ball loose, or get an interception, and we had a chance or two at that last week, and it's just not happening right now. Sometimes that's a little bit of just unluck. But that's kind of this second half. We need something like that to happen. And you can do that by being a little more aggressive and changing up some stuff. So, and you hope a little of that luck falls your way again.
Well, aggressiveness, or another word for that is physicality, and I think that's why we're behind right here. And again, we're only behind by one touchdown, but I think just pretty much at every position you could look at the fact that Brownwood has been more physical. Obviously, offensive line for Brownwood is winning the game so far. Defensive secondary doing a good job. I mean, the play to Williams, where they were going to try to get the ball to Williams, was a hold by the cornerback. And the guy that I wanted to go to, Williams over number 11, they were going that way, but 11's holding him. So, again, the Bulldogs they're seeing that physicality, so they've got to counter that and, make a good move and rip through and get past that physicality and that pressure to get yourself open. You've got to force the issue, and you've got to match the physicality with just as much physicality, and I think that's been the difference so far. On the ground, talking about the running game, Coronado is doing most of the work. He has 10 carries for 51 yards. Kastner 1 for 3. Lopez 1 for 1. Laidler 1-2 for 31. And Murray 1 for 4.
See, I really do. If we could get some stops, I think we could take over this game in the running game. You still mix in the passes and as they change that, but our running game, we get a stop. If we could get back to that where the problem is we're playing from behind, and that changes some things up, obviously. But you get that tie or that lead, if you can get that early in the third quarter, you could really, to me, we could start running the ball, push them down, and get the momentum back on our side. It's a lot to do, but that's, to me, the game plan of the second half.
Yeah, that's a good point. And my thought at the beginning of the game was I would really like to have seen the Bulldogs open up with a lead so that when Mosley comes back in this second half, their best running back, that they're playing from behind. And, and we saw this the last time we played Brownwood here when the quarterback, I forget his name, but I think he ended up going to Tarleton. He got hurt in our game, and the backup comes in, and really they didn't miss a beat. They changed their game plan, but didn't really miss a beat. And that's kind of what's happening here. And then now we're going to add the best players, so the Bulldogs have a challenge in front of them to play better defense than they did the first half.
Well, yeah, they don't have a reason to change a whole lot. I mean, to me, and they've done the Lions easy for me to say, but also but Colson, he's done a really good job running their offense, making the right reads and the plays, and so. The Lions band, Brownwood's band, about to go onto the field as well. Esprit de Corps finishing up their performance. So we're going to go ahead and take one more break. It's about a 6-minute break. We come back. We'll get you ready for the second half. Here at halftime, Brownwood will get the second half kickoff, but here at halftime, the Lions lead the Bulldogs from Gordon Wood Stadium 21-14 on BTXSportsOnline.com and KMPN 95.9 FM.
Back to Genesis with Dr. John Morris, president of the Institute for Creation Research. Dr. Morris, the age-old question, is it true that man evolved from the apes?
No, it is not, Chris. Humans were created separately. The animals, including the apes, were created after their kind, but humans were created in the image of God. Man is not related to the animals. But according to evolution, we are descended from the animals. It used to be thought that a rodent, a rat-like animal, was the common ancestor of all the mammals, but a recent study showed that the closest living relative of the common ancestor is the aardvark. How about that? We came from an aardvark. Chris, isn't it about time we recognize the evolutionary view as abject foolishness? Isn't it time we go back to Genesis and get it right?
If you'd like to go back to Genesis, you can find us on the web at www.icr.org. For the Institute for Creation Research, I'm Chris O'Brien. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm Miriam Neff with New Beginnings. Jesus calls us in Matthew 5:8 to be pure in heart. That seems impossible to me. Yet when God calls us, He equips us. First, in accepting Jesus and all that He is and has done, He places His robe on me, a pure one. We won't experience personal purity until heaven. Meanwhile, we pursue purity. We have a forgiven heart. God creates in us a clean heart, so we're free to keep taking steps toward pursuing God only. Acts 20:24. My only aim is to finish the race and complete the task the Lord Jesus has given me. To be pure is to lay aside distractions, not be double-minded. Are you pulled in different directions? Ask God to give you a pure heart, single-mindedness. He promises to answer this prayer.
This feature at widowconnection.com.
There are many of you, many all over the world, that are lost souls.
Billy Graham.
You're alive physically, but your soul, your spirit is separated from God. And as a result, it brings about all kinds of inner problems, inner tensions and frustrations, loneliness, emptiness, guilt, all these things as a result of that. We want something else. And we don't know what it is.
What you want is God.
You were made for God, and without God, you don't find the peace and the joy and the happiness and the pleasure that you thought you'd find. It's not found anywhere except in a relationship with God, because you were made for God.
You can have a relationship with God today. Find out more at our website, findpeacewithgod.net. Findpeacewithgod.net. From the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
From the files of Unshackled, Pacific Garden Mission presents Free Indeed.
In high school, I was Mr. Involved. I led my church's youth group, joined my high school's drama and debate clubs, and played trombone in a dance band. My family life was pretty solid. That is, until my father died of a sudden heart attack when I was just 16. As I watched him pass away, I was forced to face my own mortality. That didn't scare me enough, though. Playing in clubs first exposed me to alcohol, and in college, I developed a heavy drinking habit. My social life was more important to me than my studies, and I lied and cheated to maintain passing grades. After graduation, I got a job as a middle school music teacher, but my drinking continued. One summer, I blacked out drunk, and my antics landed me in jail. Soon after that, while drunk, I drove my van and crashed it less than 2 feet away from the edge of a cliff. I soon learned that my good intentions weren't enough to keep me out of trouble. But at a concert, a musician shared the good news about finding a new life through faith in Jesus Christ. Though I knew about Jesus before, I never thought about him in that way. After the concert, my wife and I started reading books about Christ and going to church. We learned that we could flee from sin, but we couldn't do it without Christ's help. I'm Michael DeKirchy. If the Son, therefore, shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed.
If you would like to be free from the weight of sin by receiving Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, or maybe you have questions about it, call 1-888-NEED-HIM right now. Free Indeed is a production of Pacific Garden Mission, 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. Email unshackled@pgm.org.
Hi, I'm Charlie Dyer.
And I'm John Gager.
We come to you every week with The Land and the Book.
But what an honor to join the KHCB family every Saturday at 11 a.m. and then later at 6 p.m.
Our goal is to bring you up to date on all that God is doing throughout the Middle East.
We also bring you guests who are making a difference in the region.
And we love answering your Bible questions and sharing a devotional, too.
So plan to join us this Saturday at 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. for The Land and the Book.
Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross was a Swiss psychiatrist who is famous for her research and books on the subject of death and dying. She wrote, "Before I started working with dying patients, I did not believe in a life after death. I now believe in a life after death, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I've been around dying friends several times, but their deaths are not what caused me to believe in life after death. I became convinced of the afterlife by reading the New Testament, specifically Jesus Christ's words, "He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live." This is David Jeremiah encouraging you to get on the road to new life. Discover God's promise of life after death on Route 66.
Route 66, driving the word home. Log on to Route66Life.com. Start your journey home today.
Roy Kaiser back here at halftime, waiting on the Brownwood Band to finish their performance. And we were at halftime checking scores from around the district, and there's, with only 5 teams in our district, there's only one more game. And
interesting game, isn't it?
Ironically enough, it's the same score as our game, 21-14. It's also at halftime, and the Stephenville Yellow Jackets are up on the Lampasas Badgers by 1 touchdown.
In Lampasas tonight.
Yeah, on grass. Maybe the first time in all of these young players' lives from Stephenville that they ever played on grass.
Well, we never did. Yeah, K through 12.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they're playing their games still at Tarleton until their stadium is built, and Tarleton has renovated their stadium over the last few years since they've gone Division I, and so amazing facilities. And so
I got a call.
They're playing. They're going from Tarleton's Division I football field to Lampasas, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So I got a call 2 weeks ago that Marble Falls played Stephenville in Stephenville, and Ben Shields, of course, does the Marble. And they were coming back, and Marble Falls had lost, and I was, I'm sorry about that. He said, yeah, well, it wasn't unexpected, but he did have a couple of nice things to say about the state. He said, wow. Yeah, Tarleton Stadium is, and so I've never been, and we're at home. I love being at home, so I'm not getting mad about that.
Well, we spent a lot of Saturdays in Stephenville when Derek, our oldest son, was playing football there, and they when he went there as a freshman, they kept saying, well, we're going to renovate the stadium, and it happened his last year. He played in a semi-renovated stadium, and then about 2 years after that, they completed it, and it's very, very nice.
And now next year we'll be in Stephenville, but we won't be. I'm sure it'll be a nice stadium, but because they're building now because of the Division I. Now Stephenville High School has not had their own stadium. Now they will.
Correct, and I believe that Tarleton told them they had to, they couldn't play there any longer. Now, when we played them in basketball last year and went to Stephenville, and I saw the coach showed us the land that it was going to be built on, and so we thought the progress would be made and they would have that done by next year. But I have heard, and I don't know if this is official or not, I've just heard this, that they have stopped building that stadium for some reason. Now, again, I'm not 100% sure on that, and I didn't confirm that. But probably should have before, and I will before we play there, or before we play them, to find out what's going on.
Here, this Howard Payne, and it's a nice stadium. They've done renovations.
Yeah, it's the other way here.
Here, yes.
Howard Payne plays at the
high school stadium as well. The Howard Payne Yellow Jackets. Division III.
They're Division III. They're in there with Hardin Simmons and Mary Hardin Baylor, and I think that conference, the American Southwest Conference, is down to about 5 or 6 teams now. It's about cut in half from what it used to be.
Well, I guess I don't think I ever got to talk about it because it was a neat experience would have been November, December. During the basketball season, as some of you might know, I actually live. My road home tonight is actually the closest after I retired, moved up some family property in Mullen. Yeah, go ahead and look that up. But which is a small town about 25 miles from here. So, but last fall, when in my retired mode, I got to come up to the Coliseum. It's the Brownwood Coliseum, which has a neat history.
It does.
And it's an arena. It is an arena, and Howard Payne plays there. So that night, I got to see Trinity Greenwell played for Howard Payne, former girls basketball player. And then that night, Howard Payne happened to be playing
UT Dallas.
UT Dallas, who also had Luke Kaiser on it. So I got to watch two former, and I'd called basketball games over the years. So two at the college level. And
was Paris, my daughter-in-law, used to be Brinkley. Was she playing for UTD? No, she had already transferred by that year.
This was just last one. She
okay,
was
that's right.
She
went to Hardin-Simmons. She transferred to Hardin-Simmons.
And no, yes, but got to see both of them that night, and that was just really cool. To get to just go sit and watch them play basketball, former Bulldogs.
And we appreciated you watching that game or watching those games and supporting them. But you're right; it is an interesting place. It's a dome, and it's usually dark. Now they have renovated it a little bit and upgraded the seats and the lighting a little bit, but it's a hard place to win.
Yeah.
And it's one of those unique places.
And there's not really a lower level.
There's not a lower level to sit on.
Yeah, you're sitting above. They had it was fun because the college, they had a paper airplane. My paper airplane did not make it to the center of the court or whatever to win something, but they went around handed paper, make a paper airplane. You do it at halftime. That was kind of cool. I kind of enjoyed
fun
that
stuff.
But no, it was. I mean, that goes back. A lot of famous people have played concerts there. Brownwood, the Crossroads out here. If you look, Abilene's a couple hours